Hello, Geminis, and welcome to this, your March 1st through March 15th reading and predictions. For those of you who are new here, thank you so much for trusting and clicking on this video. And for those of you who are returning, thank you so much for continuing to support this channel. If you will kindly just take a quick peek at my subscriber count, you will notice that I am this close to reaching my first level of monetization after putting these videos out to everyone for 2 years. So if you wouldn't mind clicking on that subscribe button and helping me to get there, but also if you wouldn't mind watching the video all the way through. The reason being is that in order to be monetized, you not only need the subscribers, but you also need the watch hours. And I am shy of the watch hours. And after 1 year, your first year of watch hours begins to drop off each month. It's a little bit complicated the way that they do it, but yeah, just if you wouldn't mind watching the whole video, help me out. It would be greatly appreciated. All right, enough begging. We are going to get in with your reading. Geminis, also stick around until the end anyway, because I do have a feature at the end where I answer your yes, no questions. I do have a deck that exclusively has yes and no cards in it. And so at the end of this video, I will be pulling cards for you for yes or no. Enough said. The last reading that I did for you, Geminis, was covering the time frame from February 15th through to February 29th. And I'm just pulling up my notes here, but there was something that came up in that reading that indicated that you needed to let go of something. There was something just on the horizon for you, something new, something exciting, some new endeavors, possibly a new partnership coming up for you. But there was something that you were holding on to, some type of belief system that you were holding on to that was completely and totally preventing you from being able to step into the energy of a new endeavor or potentially a new partnership. Now, I'm not just talking about romantic partnerships. Potentially even a business partnership is what was being indicated. I can't answer that. Maybe it'll come up for you in this reading. And the reason that I can't answer it is because all that kept coming back in your last reading was you need to let go of something. You need to let go of this. There's a belief system. You've got to release this. So let's dive in. Let's start pulling some cards here. Where are we going first? Yep, getting called over here to the fairy deck. And if you are interested in knowing any of the decks that I do use various decks. If you are interested in knowing, I do not have any affiliate links. But if there is anything that you are curious about, by all means, please pop a comment in, or you can also send me an email. My contact details are down below. All right, so we do have a couple of cards that have slipped out of the deck here. Let's see if there's anything else coming up for you guys. Nope, we got one more that turned up. So let's pull that one out. All right, so the first few cards that I've pulled for you are cards. Oh my goodness, this is the same theme for you again, Gemini. The first three cards that have jumped out of the deck, quite literally, except for the last one, and it was because it didn't want to go back into the deck. I pulled it out for you. I pulled these cards with the intention of looking at where you're at now, here at the end of February as I record this video for you. You have the number 13 card, the release card. This card corresponds to the death card from the traditional tarot. This card is all about letting go of the past, allowing the past to die. The reason that this card is called the death card in the traditional tarot is it is a card of transformation. And in fact, I believe it's the Osho Zen deck over here, it is actually called transformation. And it is about when we let go of old belief systems, when we walk away from something, a little part of us dies. But the reason that that little part of us has to die is so that something bigger and beautiful and better can move in. Bigger, beautiful, better. Those bees keep coming up for you, Gemini. bigger, beautiful, better. Let go. There is something you're holding on to. And I mean, even here, let's just look at this. I'm hoping that that's coming into focus for you. Let go of the past. An ending that makes way for new opportunities. Time to move on. I can't say it any better than this card says it right here for you. This is where you are at moving into the month of March. At the end of February, there's still something that you've got to let go of. And then you've got a double confirmation here because the very next card that you have is the Eight of Summer. This card corresponds to the Eight of Cups from the traditional tarot. And again, this is a card of walk away. You have a desire for something more meaningful, for bigger, beautiful, better. And yet you're holding on to the past. So again, I'm going to hold up this card so that you can read it. And I'm hoping that it will focus. Realizing that it's time to move on. Just in case you can't read the second line right here, realizing it's time to move on. It is time to walk away, Gemini. There is something. Absolutely. And again, this is the exact same theme that you had in your last reading for February 15th through the 29th. Now, the last card in this particular part of your reading is, before we move on to what you're focusing on, where you're putting your attention, and as you know, your thoughts become your reality. Those are the next cards that I'm going to pull for you. You have the King of Winter. This card corresponds to the King of Swords. The King of Swords is the least emotional king out of the entire deck. He comes solely from a place of the intellect or the mind, and he always comes with a piece of advice. The problem is that some people don't want to listen to the advice of the King of Swords because it is delivered in a manner that may seem like it's harsh, may seem like, oh God, I'm not going to listen to that guy because he's coming across with, when we talk about doctors with no bedside manner, yeah, that would be the King of Swords, where he has a message for you and there's an important message coming up, but it's about the delivery. And what this card is saying to you, Gemini, is that there's some important information that you have received. Either you've already received it or you're in the process of receiving it right now, and you are choosing to dismiss that information because you didn't like either who it came from or how the message was delivered. But it was information that you needed, and it was information that you needed that reinforces this 13 card, this release card, and this Eight of Cups, which is also about walking away. So at some point in time, you're going to have to take a little bit of advice and move out of this place of holding on to something from the past. Let's move into what you are focusing on. Where are we going for that? Yep, we're going to go over here to the Osho Zen. The focus for Geminis for first half of March. That one's on the floor. I should probably go pick that up. And that one's on the floor. All right. So there are actually 3 cards that popped out here. And we are going to start off with the Mind card. This card is one of the things that you are focusing on. Again, it comes from the Suit of Swords. And actually, there's 4 cards here. There's another one here on my desk that flipped out at the last minute. So I'm going to grab that card for you. So in the order in which they came out, you are caught up in the mind. And the problem with being caught up in the mind is that oftentimes that's not where our answers come from. Sure, we have friends, colleagues, acquaintances who deliver information to us from the place of mind, from the place of intellect. But when we get caught up in our own minds and in our own thoughts and in our own intellect, look at the picture. That character does not look happy. So, if you are focusing on what's going on in your mind in order to be able to make decisions, it's going to create an intensity for you. And again, this card says intensity on it. It's going to create an intensity for you. Now, this card corresponds to the Knight of Wands. Sorry, it took me a second to come up with it. It corresponds to the Knight of Wands. Where's this the page? And it's about moving forward in your life. And it may feel like it's super intense to be able to let go of the past, let go of the monkey mind. That's essentially what this card is all about, is the monkey mind. Get out of it. When you let go of being in the monkey mind and you move into a place of making your decisions using all of your faculties, using your emotions, using your intellect, using prior knowledge, using the knowledge of advice from friends and so on, all of these things, it can feel pretty intense. And letting go of the past can feel intense. But you then have two beautiful cards that once you move through this, and essentially what these cards are telling me, because this is the order that they came out in, is that as you move through the last half of February, the last few days of February, and move into March, there is this being caught up in the mind, being caught up in. When we're caught up in the mind, we're caught up in our egos. Our ego is part of the mind saying, oh my God, don't do that, don't change. Okay. And it feels pretty intense. But the other two cards on the other half, moving probably further into March, I want to say 8th. By the 8th of March, as you move up towards the 8th, 9th, 10th of March, you're going to be moving into these two cards. You have the abundance card corresponding to the King of Pentacles, and you have the change card over here. And the change card corresponds to the Wheel of Fortune from the traditional tarot. Both cards indicate abundance. Now, I want to remind you, abundance is not always about financial abundance. It can also be about looking at what else we have to be grateful for in our lives. A roof over our head, food in our bellies, the ability to have our mobility. All of these things are abundance. And many of us forget to be grateful for those things every day. So, Gemini, gratitude is part of your exercise, part of what you're focusing on. Remember, your thoughts become your reality. So if you're caught up in your mind and you're caught up thinking, oh my God, this is so intense, then it will become very intense. When you move past that and you move into this King of Pentacles, abundance energy, and move into the Wheel of Fortune, again, abundance energy, that's when things are going to begin to shift and kind of calm down. Now, the Wheel of Fortune is a major arcana card. And so it does come with this very strong message that as you change and release, as you walk away from that which no longer serves your highest good, as you finally take the advice that's being given, the Wheel of Fortune is spinning. Think about what table is it? The roulette wheel at Vegas. And, you know, it's spinning, and this little tiny ball is you, and it's going to land. Which space are you going to land on? Okay. Either way, when the Wheel of Fortune comes in, I would say overall, this card has a positive sense. It's not about spinning the wheel and you've got a 50-50 chance of win or lose. It's not like that. It's about spinning the wheel and coming to a crossroads and going, oh my gosh, I thought I only had one of two choices. I thought I was coming to a Y in the road, and oh my gosh, there's all these choices out here. I could go this way or this way or this way or this way, and there's all these paths. There's all this choice. That's what the Wheel of Fortune is saying. Abundance and choices and opportunities are about to be presented to you. Exciting. Where are we going next? We are going to difficult influences. We're going to go over here to the Light Seer Tarot. Difficult influences and challenges for Gemini. Difficult influences and challenges. Oh, yeah. I think you guys actually had this exact same card in your difficult influences and challenges. If it wasn't you guys, one of the other zodiac signs did last month. Difficult influences and challenges, you have the Nine of Cups. Now, in the tarot, we have certain cards that we consider extremely lucky and extremely positive. We have the Sun, we have the Star, we have the Nine and Ten of Cups, we have the Ten of Pentacles. Those cards are considered some of the happiest cards in the deck, and you've got the Nine of Cups coming up in your difficult influences. Come on, Gemini. The reason that this card is coming up in your difficult influences is because whatever it is that you need to release, whatever it is that you need to let go of with this Eight of Summer and this 13 card, this Death card, is a belief from the past. And the Nine of Cups in the upright position is a card of celebration. I have achieved. I get on a deep level that I am good enough. I am worthy. I am worthy of financial abundance. I am worthy of having a loving relationship, an unconditional, a partner who loves me unconditionally. I am worthy of having a roof over my head and having food in my belly. And this card is about the internalization of that belief system. This is a card of being worthy. This card came up for you, Gemini, in your difficult influences. So I believe that the belief system that you are bumping up against has to do with your belief about your worthiness. And when you are able to really, really internalize, you are enough. Take a look at the screen. Look at me. You are enough. Now, pause the video if you want. Go into the bathroom, look in the mirror, and tell yourself, I am enough. I am enough. I love me. And when you have the ability not only to say those words, but to actually believe them, a huge shift is going to happen for you, Gemini. Huge. Let's take a quick peek at messages the universe wants you to hear at this time, Geminis. Okay, so we've got a couple of cards that popped out for messages the universe wants you to hear. The first message is patience is a virtue. Yeah. What I was talking about here with this Nine of Cups, and to really, really sink into knowing your worth in the world. It takes time. Feeling unworthy is such a deeply held belief. It doesn't normally flip overnight. It takes some time. But when you can truly shift into that and know your truth. Yeah, know your truth, Gemini. Absolutely know your truth. What is your truth? Well, the truth is every single person on this planet is worthy. Every single person is enough. Internalize it. Let's move into your unexpected. We are going back over here to the Light Seer Tarot for your unexpected. Four of Pentacles has jumped out for your unexpected. Four of Pentacles is a card of lessons as well. Four of Pentacles has two meanings. The first meaning that we're going to get into with it is balance your budget. The Four of Pentacles is a card of balance, being that it is an even number. 2 plus 2 equals 4. And so this is a card of make sure that you have your budget balanced. You'll notice the character on the card has her purse clutched closely in her hands. Okay. This is a card of make sure. Now, I'm not a certified financial advisor. I can't give you formal financial advice, but the advice I can give you is common sense. Make sure that you have more coming in than what you have going out. There you go. But the Four of Pentacles has another meaning as well. And the other meaning of this card is coveting. This is the card that reminds us that sometimes the reason we don't feel worthy and we bump into that belief system about us being enough is because we continue to look over the fence and think that the grass is greener over there. We look over at our neighbors, oh my God, I want what they have. Well, as soon as you want what someone else has, you put yourself in a place of lack. When you covet, I call this the coveting card. When you are coveting what someone else has, when you are yearning for what someone else has, when you are wishing and dreaming and praying, oh my God, I just want that big house that they have. You've just put yourself in a place of lack. You have lowered your energy, lowered your vibration, and you have lowered your self-worth. Geminis, this card is your reminder. It is your invitation to come up with what you want deep inside your heart without looking over the fence. The grass isn't always greener on the other side of the fence. You know that beautiful relationship you see? I'm not saying this is true for all of them, but a lot of the times what we see in the outside world is not their inner reality. So that relationship that you think that you want to have, oh my gosh, they always look so loving when they go out together. Yeah, well, one of them might be a narcissist, an abusive narcissist behind closed doors. But when they go out and they look so beautiful together and their life is so perfect. So if you're coveting what somebody else has without knowing all of the answers, you are lowering your own vibration. And that also brings up be careful what you wish for. I just had an image flash across my eyes. And as you know, I'm clairvoyant as well as being claircognizant and clairaudient. This image that just flashed before my eyes was Aladdin's lamp. Be careful what you wish for. Be careful what you are coveting and craving. Because if it's someone else's dream and not yours, down goes to your vibration. Okay? I really believe that, and when I started with this reading, I said I couldn't tell you what it was that you needed to release, at least not based on the cards that came up in your last reading. This is giving us a lot of insight into the shift that needs to happen for you to move fully into the Wheel of Fortune, the Change card, and the Abundance card. Let's go for your final general overall outcome, and then we're going to do your yes, no. Final general overall outcome. Going over here. Final general overall outcome for Gemini. Okay, so I don't have a card that's actually jumped right out. Well, now I do. But I do have a card that is going to flip up here. King of Pentacles. You have the King of Pentacles in your reading twice now. You also have the Magician on the bottom of the deck. This is what's hidden from you. This is what is being hidden from you right now, Gemini, is the Magician. I'll get into that in just a second. All right. So you have the Eight of Swords. Now, I'm going to go back to the Eight of Summer. also known as the Eight of Cups. This was one of the first cards that came out. This is a card of walk away. Walk away from the past, walk away from a belief system that no longer serves your highest good. The Eight of Swords is a card of feeling like you are blindfolded, feeling like you are tied up, feeling like you are surrounded, and feeling like you can't go anywhere. And honestly, throughout this entire reading, while I was saying to you, stop coveting what other people have and just come up with your own authentic dream, when I was saying you need to let go of this and your belief system that you don't think that you're enough, when I was talking about abundance coming in for you, change, Wheel of Fortune coming in, I could actually hear some of you Geminis going, but. Okay. That's this card. That is the energy of this card. This is the card of excuses. This is the card of you need to step out of excuses. You have what it takes. The reality is that a lot of people will say, let's take a relationship, for example, and they'll say, well, I can't leave my spouse. I'm miserable, but I can't leave my spouse. Why not? Well, because of the kids. Okay, so you want to demonstrate for the kids that it's better to stay in a crappy relationship than it is to actually show some strength and some power and leave something that is making you unhappy? Oh, well, we don't fight in front of the kids. It doesn't matter. Kids are intuitive, they're little sponges. Okay, do you see where I'm going with this? Not wanting to leave a relationship is, and saying that you can't leave a relationship. There are a million excuses out there. Oh, I can't leave because of my financial situation. There's a lot of help out there. Family, friends, institutions, and so on. Okay. The saying that comes up is where there is a will, there is a way. If you want to have this in your life, if you want to change your circumstances, you have to step up and step into your own power. And you have to recognize that all of the stuff that you think is blocking you from doing this, there's probably a workaround somehow, some way. Does that mean that it's going to be easy? No, absolutely not. I'm not saying that that what you're bumping up against right now, Gemini, is easy in any way, shape, or form. Not at all. Overcoming the belief that I'm not worthy, that I'm not enough, is probably the biggest spiritual growth leap that any of us can take. But when we actually internalize that belief and we recognize that we are enough, magic happens, abundance happens. Remember what I said, this king here, the abundance king, is the King of Pentacles. And in your final general overall outcome, you have the King of Pentacles. That's the abundant king. Now, I'm going to just touch very briefly on this card on the very bottom of the deck. This is the Magician. The Magician card is about recognizing what I just said. It is about recognizing the magic within ourselves to be able to manifest the future that we want without coveting, without looking over the fence thinking the grass is greener. This is the card of magic. Magic happens. But for some reason, this is hidden from you right now. But I believe deep in my heart that when you step into this energy, the energy of the Nine of Cups, Gemini, I mean, so much abundance. The King of Pentacles twice, Wheel of Fortune. There's good things coming. All right, let's look at your yes, no question. So for some of you, you may wish to close your eyes, ask your question several times in your mind's eye, in your mind, out loud, whatever works for you, Gemini. And we do need a yes or a no from the deck. All right. Gemini, take a quick peek at your screen if you had your eyes closed. Your answer is go. The time is right. Now, I want to go backwards just really quickly. When I'm talking about and using the example of the potential for breaking up a relationship or something like that, that's not what I was picking up psychically. I want to clarify this, that is not what I'm picking up for all of the Geminis, and that all the Geminis are going to be out there breaking up their relationships. I was using that merely as an example when it comes to this Eight of Swords. All of us, including me, who's been doing this work for more than 20 years, I will still find myself in situations sometimes and go, yeah, but I can't. Okay. That is the energy of the Eight of Swords. Yeah, but no, I can't. Oh, it's the excuse card. And when we remove ourselves from that, regardless of the circumstances, whether it be not being able to leave a job, not being able to leave our current relationship, whether it be wanting to go back to school and saying, oh, financially I can't, etc., etc. It is about feeling like we are trapped, but when we really dig down in, we find that some of the reason that we feel trapped is because of our own blocks and our own excuses. Okay. So I hope that that resonated with each and every one of you. If you wouldn't mind, like I said at the beginning of the video, liking and subscribing, and, even go and watch some of the other videos, help me achieve that level of monetization after 2 years. Thank you so much. And I look forward to having the opportunity and the honor of being able to do your next reading in the middle of March. Thank you.